Baseball is back, and with it comes injuries and disappointments. I'll be giving you the must-add players off the waiver wires this week. So lock on in and get ready for today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics. Welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Sports Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source for all fantasy baseball knowledge. Thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. And I'm your host, Matthew Mahle. And today, sadly, we're not joined by Dom. Dom has some stuff going on at home and wasn't able to make it today. So you're stuck with me. And it's going to be a good one. We got a lot of stuff going on. You can find us on all social media platforms, podcasting apps, and YouTube. Just search for Locked On Fantasy Baseball and we'll be there. Please make sure to subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating on Apple and Spotify, or wherever you listen. We really appreciate it. And please don't forget, click the bell on YouTube or on the podcasting apps to make sure you get an alert on your phone for when we post a new episode. So, this episode is brought to you by the Gametime ticketing purchasing app, the easiest and least stressful way to buy all your tickets for your favorite sports teams, comedians, musical artists, and just download the Gametime app today. All right, guys. So like I said at the top, today we'll be giving you a bunch of names that you must add this week, especially if you've been hit with the injury bug or just had those late round dart throws just not hit for you. So I'm here for you today, and I think that we're going to have a really great show and talk about some great names. And quite honestly, I guess I can't bury the lead. This is the waiver wire hotness so far, and that's Mr. James Outman. James Outman has had a great start to the season. My only issue with James is he's not playing every day. He's not going to hit against righties or lefties, one of the two. It'll come to me later. I apologize. So on those days where they don't want to play him against them, he's going to be sitting out, and he's not a full-time waiver wire full-time player, which sucks. But when he's healthy, he's been contributing in big ways. So far this season, he has 7 at-bats, 3 runs. He has a home run, 2 ribs, a stolen base, and 3 walks to 3 strikeouts, batting .286, an OBS of 545, and an OPS of 1260. He's killing it right now. But again, let me just put it out there that he isn't going to be an everyday player unless they finally, some way, shape, or form, say, hey, man, you're going to get an everyday role. Let's see what you can do because you've been killing it. Hopefully he can will himself onto the everyday lineup because James Outman looks great. I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago, where right before the season started, on names you need to keep an eye out for, and Outman was one of them. And he looks like he's paying off. If you listen to that episode and you aren't new here, you're thanking me. If you are new here, welcome. I'm going to bring you a whole bunch of names today that are really going to help you out. So James Outman, definitely take a look at him. Let's move on to our next guy here, Nolan Gorman. I hope I pronounced that right. Nolan is a great second baseman ad. Second base is one of those positions where it's thin and, maybe you missed out, or maybe you're dealing with a bug, or maybe you drafted early and got stuck. You drafted Jose Altuve, who's now going to be out for a couple weeks. Well, months, actually, unfortunately. And this could be a nice little short-term replacement. I don't know how long the success that Nolan Gorman is going to have, but one, he's on a great team with the Cards, and he's going to have the opportunity of playing almost every day at second base. And so far this season, he's really doing a good job. In 9 at-bats, he has 2 runs, 2 bombs, 6 ribs, and he's batting an average of .444. I mean, I'm loving that. On top of that, he has 4 walks to 3 strikeouts, and his OPS is a 1726. I mean, those numbers are electric, especially for somebody coming off the waiver wire. He is one of these people that I love to say, let's ride the wave while it's hot and just keep the hot hand going until he just flops, and then you can drop him. He's pretty much a free 99 player. He's only 37% owned right now. So if you drafted early and you got stuck with Jose Altuve, he's a nice short-term replacement. I mean, and Brandon Lowe just went down for a couple days. If you scooped him up, boom, and if you have Brandon Lowe, he'll probably get hurt again. So he's definitely somebody you want to keep an eye on, if not add, to have that depth and just honestly just to ride the hot hand, because those stats are definitely notable and definitely make him in the category worth adding. All right. Now let's talk about another name that we really didn't talk about in the offseason due to the fact that I honestly just did not think he was going to have any fantasy value, because he's just hasn't been able to put it together. And that's Mr. Yoan Moncada. And I'm sorry, man, because I really did do you dirty. Yoan has been putting on a nice little season so far. And what is it? 3-4 days of baseball, right? And 18 at bats. He has 3 runs, 2 bombs, 4 ribbies, batting a nice 444 as well. He's doing his typical walk to strikeout ratio where he has only 1 walk and 7 strikeouts with an OPS of 1.418. I mean, hey, this is what he does. He just loves to strike out. He doesn't really walk much. His plate discipline is atrocious, unfortunately. And you know what? All the signs pointed downwards from the spring, because he really didn't have a good spring either. In 14 at bats, he had 3 runs, 2 hits, a double, a home run, 2 ribs, 3 walks to 3 strikeouts, which is nice. But he was batting a 1.43 with an OPS of 0.723. Now, the OPS number is not too bad, but at the same time, that average is atrocious. And, I would expect more out of somebody that had such a great draft prospect. I really thought Yoan Moncada was going to hit when he was first getting that first shot at the bigs. And unfortunately, he's just been a flop. He had that one season, and now it's just been meh. But we all know how I've been complaining about third base has been slim, and it's just been atrocious to try and roster somebody or where the talent just drops off. So at least Yoan Moncada will be able to fill the void in between. If for any reason you didn't listen to us and grab Anthony Rendon, I think Yoan Moncada right now is another one you ride the hot hand and see how long this can last. Because, the White Sox are a good team. I do really like them. Obviously, here I talk about Eloy and Roberts. So I think that if he can stay and do what he wants, and they can keep doing what they're doing in the lineup, Yoan can take advantage of the situation, at least for the short term, and ride that wave and then keep replacing throughout the season. So, Moncada, definitely at 48% owned. So people are already starting to catch on. And by tomorrow, when you guys listen, it may be a little higher. So, if he's there and you need a third baseman, don't hesitate. All right. Let's talk about another positional scarcity that, generally has just been, the position I value the least. And here's why. It's for this guy that we've been drafting all offseason and all our mock drafts. And that's Mr. Logan O'Hoppe. You guys have heard of his name come up almost as much as Anthony Rendon. And that's saying something. I love Logan O'Hoppe. Came over in that trade from the Phillies for Brandon Marsh. And he had a nice little spring, not too shabby, right? In 34 at bats, he had 4 runs, 9 hits, 2 doubles, a home run, 6 ribbies, 4 walks to 14 strikeouts, but still batting at 265 with an OPS of 754. And I don't even need to really get into what he's done in the minors, because the guy has power. He has all the tangibles of being a good catcher. And so far, he's showing it off, right? So this year so far, in 10 at bats, he's had 2 runs, 4 hits, a double, a home run, 6 ribs, batting 400, yeah, buddy, and an OPS of 1164. I'm loving these numbers. I'm loving the contribution from the catcher position, and that is some serious contribution, because you know what? Sometimes you draft these catchers and it just doesn't pan out, and then they just don't produce like this every single day. Right now, he's definitely a ride the hot hand type player. And if you're missing out on that catcher, he's definitely somebody you want to add. All right. Up next, I'll be giving you some must-add starting pitcher names. So tune in after this. Okay. Have you ever tried to buy tickets and see your favorite artist or sports team and wound up being stressed out by how much of a hassle it can be? Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. That's why you need to check out the Gametime app. Gametime is fast, easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and the best prices guaranteed, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the game or event that you're going to. Using the Gametime app, it's super rewarding with flash deals, last-minute tickets, easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. Images of your seats so you can see exactly what you're going to be looking at the stage or sporting event. Lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and etc. I mean, there's a reason it's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for a $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, guys. Like I promised, now I'm going to have some names for you for starting pitcher. And, if you've been tuning in, we know that we've already had some injuries, whether it was right before the season or the day of. Unfortunately, these things happen with Verlander going down, Kyle Wright, Severino. These are not names we want to hear or lose during the start of the season. Now, we're just grateful that it happened right now, and we're going to get them back before the season's over. And I forgot other names like Carlos Rodon and Tristan McKenzie. So, people are hurting out there. So here I am to supply you with some names to add for the upcoming weeks to at least help you get through the hump until these players come back. And it's funny enough, I'm going to start with a name that, I didn't overlook, but it was always in the back of my head, somebody I had on my watch list, and that's Tylor Megill. Tylor Megill, we all know him. We all know what he can do when he's healthy and when he's actually in a groove, because Tylor Megill does do his thing. And I really do like what he did in the short stints that he had in the 2022 season before he got traded and, before he got hurt and then finally came back. And Tylor Megill is somebody that, we shouldn't really overlook. I'm sorry, I'm also trying to get this. It's different when you're doing it by yourself here. But Tylor Megill is somebody that I really am intrigued to see, and he has a good matchup. He had a good matchup today, and today is April 3rd. So when you're watching this, it'll be tomorrow on the 4th. And he really did kill it against Miami. He gave up 1 run. He had 7 Ks with a 1.8 ERA and a 1.20 WHIP. Now, Tylor Megill is somebody that I'm definitely willing to roll out, with fluffy matchups like this. I'm not sure who he's playing down the stretch. Maybe Houston. I might consider not playing him. So, maybe he's not the ad for this week. Maybe he's more of a watch list type guy. But Mahle is definitely a name to keep an eye out for because he definitely can come in handy in a pinch or just for a stream, or one of my favorite strategies that we're going to get into as the season goes on as pitch and ditch, which is screw it. My ERA is completely shot, but I could take out my opponent with strikeouts. So let me just keep adding and adding, using up all my ads for the week and just loading up on starting pitchers and just trying to get wins and strikeouts and just see if I can pull out a W in those two categories, since I'm probably not going to win ERA, but hopefully that kind of levels out to maybe I get lucky. Tylor Megill can be one of those people that can add the value to those categories. So definitely keep an eye out for Tylor Megill. All right. Now here's somebody that's a direct replacement for the guy that got hurt before the season even started while he was warming up, Justin Verlander, and that's Tylor Megill. Tylor Megill is an interesting name. I actually really did like him. I wasn't sure if I should add him right off the bat, but then I saw his performance and I'm like, you know what? I think he's going to be somebody that's at least going to be valuable in the short term, because he did do a good job in his first outing. He had 5 innings pitched. He had 7 strikeouts, which is great. That K/9 rate, I love it. He had a 3.6 ERA with a 1.6 WHIP, which is high. But I mean, hey, if I'm scooping him off the waivers, it is what it is. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you're going to have to deal with when you're kicking up these pitchers off the waiver wire. We're not all going to be able to scoop up, the next Spencer Strider. I'm going to do my damnedest to try and get you guys that pickup. But Hey, it is what it is. This was up against Miami, and he has him again on the 6th, which is in a couple days. So he's definitely worth an ad. He's a 2-star pitcher this week. If you're already smart enough to scoop him up, which I'm going to doubt most of you have because he's 14% owned. So Miguel is somebody that if you lost Verlander, he's his direct replacement on the field and should be your replacement in the short term till Verlander comes back. Miguel can have at least a couple weeks of some nice starts. And with this Miami stint hitting them back to back, how you doing? I'm definitely trusting him there, especially since he just had this win, 7 Ks, 3.6 ERA with a 1.6 whip against them. So definitely don't sleep on Tylor Megill and definitely consider adding him. All right. Now here's one of my favorite names. All right. I loved him since he was in the minors, and I feel like he really just got a bad shake of bad luck, and especially since he got traded to the Nationals, and that's Mr. MacKenzie Gore. MacKenzie Gore, it was a darling of last year, right? Oh, this guy's finally getting shot. San Diego's going to do it for us. Came out, killed it, got hurt, then got traded. And now he's on the Nationals, the pit of garbage. But here's the thing, though. The reason why we're talking about him is not because I think he's going to get you wins, because, again, wins aren't a predictive stat. You can kind of predict it when it comes to the Nationals. They're not going to win a lot of games. But MacKenzie Gore is a good talent and is a good pitcher. Now, the thing is, the quality of field behind him may be where he may get screwed in some aspects and where he may let you down. So this is where he's high risk, high reward kind of type situation, especially in dynasty or even keeper league, starter up dynasty and keeper leagues. He may have been overlooked in. He's definitely a great ad. I added him, and he went out and killed it actually against Atlanta Braves. This is why we're talking about him, is what he did against the Atlanta Braves. He had 5 innings pitched. He had 6 strikeouts. He had a 1.69 ERA, so only really gave up 1 run, I believe. And his whip was a 1.313. So, I mean, the whip was kind of high, but not atrocious. And he was able to get you that K per 9, go 5 innings deep. And he even got you the W, I believe. Yeah, he did. He got you the W. So, a quick little spot start, and MacKenzie Gore came in the clutch and did you right. So, I mean, MacKenzie Gore is a good, valuable ad this week. Let's see if I can pull up his next matchup, because who knows, maybe he gets a little bit of more of a fluff matchup, and it's really a good ad this week. So right now it's not up it's up for me yet. Maybe this weekend. Right now I see them on the turn at Colorado. So if he's pitching Colorado at Colorado, I may fade, but I may be wanting to add him at the end of the week. If I have an extra waiver wire to see who he's going up against next week, and maybe he can, give me a little boost. Or just if, like I said, if I'm in those dynasty or keeper leagues, maybe just somebody I'm adding to protect and control because somebody may be seeing how I'm seeing it. Hey, he was able to light it up against Atlanta Braves. We should totally, stash him now. All right. Enough about MacKenzie Gore. Let's talk about Eric Lauer. All right. He's somebody also that I talked about in the offseason, especially when we did our mock drafts. I love the talent. I love the team for him. And I love what he's done in those short stints when he was good last year. And he kicked it right off with a bang again. Eric Lauer did his thing in his first start out. Let me just get this up. And I have him in every league where I'm at right now. And I had him from draft day because I kind of had a feeling he was at least going to start hot and he'd be valuable. And I got him for free 99, right? So this start was against the Cubs, which was nice. And he had a win, 6 strikeouts, and a 3.38 ERA with a 1.31 whip. Now, that's nice. I mean, the Cubs haven't been anything to snuff at either. They've been doing pretty good. Swansby's actually been killing it to start the season. So the offense has somewhat been there. So it's not like he's going up against a team that's not doing anything offensively. So Eric Lauer is definitely somebody I'm keeping an eye on, and I want to add. We'll see. That right now, I don't know who he's going to go up against. Maybe St. Louis. Again, that may be somebody we kind of fade, but at the same time, I kind of might roll him out there, especially for these pitch and ditch situations. If I'm down in Ks and my ERA is already done for the week, he might be somebody that's at least going to be able to get me the Ks and maybe get me the win. So Eric Lauer is definitely worth an ad this week at some point. And again, if the matchups calls for it, definitely go for it. All right. So up next, I'll be giving you some must-add relief pitchers that can fill the void and hopefully get you some saves this week. But Before that, we have a great sponsor to talk about that I'm really excited about, and our new partner, mobile app, Ultimate Baseball GM. Ever dream of becoming an MLB GM and managing a professional baseball franchise? Well, your dream can come true now. Manage every strategic aspect of your team. Play through the season and leave your team to glory. You're responsible for hiring the right coaches and staff, managing the finances, scouting and drafting players, even managing difficult personalities, navigating your franchise through free agency and all the ups and downs of the season, just like any other GM. Ultimate Baseball GM is completely free and playable without Wi-Fi, so play on the go where you want, when you want. I've been hooked since I've downloaded the game. You can compete against your friends like Dom and I have, going back and forth, talking a whole bunch of smack. And you should definitely do the same as us. Locked On Fantasy Baseball listeners get a 100% free budget bonus when you use the code Locked On in the Game Store app. So make sure you check it out. And to download the game, just visit probaseballgm.com, scan the code below, or look it up in the App Store. That's probaseballgm.com. Start your dynasty today. All right, guys. So I got two more names for you. It's going to be a short one today, but I hopefully do not disappoint. And this is a name that, I have always liked. And unfortunately, the guy just can't stay healthy. Maybe being a relief pitcher is the move. And he was just traded. So this is great here. And that's Mr. AJ Puck. Newly acquired. Wasn't sure where they were going with this Miami. And you know what? I kind of like it. It's kind of frisky because, hey, if they're going to roll him out and let him be the closer, this can be special because AJ Puck is a great talent. And since he can't stay healthy, he's not going to pitch a lot of innings. It's a great relief pitcher. Boom. And the other night, he got the save. Against, let me pull that up for us real quick. Thank God it's 3-letter word. Against the Mets. He did give up a home run to Pete Alonso, but luckily it was 2-0. So the one home run meant nothing. And he was able to walk away with the save there. So if AJ Puck is going to be getting these saves moving forward, or at least in the short term, this could be somebody that definitely has some fantasy value because, closers go quick. And for some people love to draft like 2, 3, 4 sometimes, and that, which I completely disagree with, especially in head-to-head leagues. So like if you missed out on getting like a second or you have 2 middle tier guys, AJ Puck could at least give you some short-term value and maybe wing you the week if he gets another save this week, or 2 if you're really lucky. Because, it's Miami, so it's going to be slim pickings regardless. So, but if he does get in that situation, they do roll him out again, AJ Puck can at least provide you some fantasy value. So definitely don't overlook AJ Puck. All right, let's talk about our last guy here, and that's Danny Menace. Danny Menace is another one, Puck's former teammate, and he's one getting the save out there today, the other day. And again, we don't know really who's going to be the closer over in Oakland. It's really kind of up for grabs, but right now he's the one getting the saves, and I'm kind of going to roll with it. He got it against the Angels. They got the Angels for the next 2 games. They got Cleveland and then Tampa. So again, I really don't see them being in a position where they could win, but at the same time, you don't want to pass on a guy that's getting the opportunity, especially like I said, if you missed out or you don't feel too confident in your closers, or you got Iglesias and you're waiting for him. Danny Menace can be the guy that you scoop up and say, hey, if he gets me a save, he gets me a save. I don't think he's going to hurt you in the ERA category too much. I think if anything, he's getting the play time. He might be able to sneak in an extra K or 2 for you. And if you're really lucky, sneaks in a save for you. So let's see what happens. These 2 guys are, we're pretty much going to be dealing with all season. Can they? Will they? Are the hot hand right now? Are they going to get it for the next couple of opportunities? What the deal is? Our hands are always like this, up in the air, shaking our head. Like, I don't know what to do with the closer position. And this is pretty much what it's going to be like all year. I'm just getting you ready and getting you prepped now, unless there's some injury that happens and then there's a clear decision. So Danny Menace is definitely somebody I would take a look at and possibly add this week. He is only 28% owned. AJ Puck is 30% owned. Definitely take a look. These guys are definitely out there. So Thank you, everybody, for bearing with me. We miss Dom. Hopefully, he can come back tomorrow. Hopefully, what's going on doesn't prevent him from coming back tomorrow. That's all for me today. Please make sure to subscribe, comment, rate, review. Check out our website. We're going to be putting up some articles soon, so I'm really excited for all that. And thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. Now, if you can, I think this is a great idea. Go and check out Locked On Reds with their host Jeff Carr. He's great and knowledgeable host. Okay, and if you're considering adding a Reds or trading for a Reds player, he's going to have that inside track on that information on that player. So, you want to go check out that team's podcast. And Jeff Carr has definitely got his ear to the ground on the Reds. All right, so definitely check out Locked On Reds. So be sure to look out for our new episode tomorrow. Until then, guys, peace.